been too much trouble here. Did you know that a young boy drowned the year before those two others were killed? The counselors weren't paying any attention. They were making love while that young boy drowned. His name was Jason.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to episode 2 of what I've been watching, weekly series where I'm going to go through each week and just show the movies I've watched and give a quick brief on them if anyone hasn't seen them, or just thought it'd be something fun to do. So I only got to watch 4 movies this week. Last week was 6, but that's just the way it is. First one I watched, Jurassic World. This is pretty great, pretty good movie. Once I do watch Fallen Kingdom, I will rank these. But yeah, I think it's an awesome transfer on that 4K as well. Follows basically this woman called Claire who looks after, I think she's like the CEO or something of the actual Jurassic World theme park. And she's really, I guess, work focused. Like she thinks everything's in numbers, percentages. She even doesn't really think the dinosaurs are actual, living, breathing creatures. She just thinks they're numbers. And she doesn't really understand that until she's with that one brontosaurus that's dying. And she sort of looks into its eyes and knows that they're not just like, lifeless creatures, I guess. But yeah, she's got to look after her 2 nephews. And yeah, of course, she gets real. The Odomitus Rex escapes. And I think the Odomitus Rex, if I'm saying that correctly, was a really good looking dinosaur. Obviously, the first 2 Jurassic Parks have the T-Rex, and the third one has the Spinosaurus. I think that's what they call it. But yeah, the Odominus Rex looks awesome. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Is it the best in the franchise? No way. Sort of don't like how they've got, is it Chris Pratt? I think he's just sort of thrown in there as the action guy. I don't know. Just seems a bit over the top for me for one of these movies. But still really good. One scene that I particularly love in this movie, probably my favorite scene in the movie, is when throughout this movie actually, you don't see the T-Rex at all. You do see a glimpse of it when it's feeding time, when they first arrive to the park, the 2 boys. But other than that, you sort of forget about it because of the Odominus Rex. And yeah, that last scene where she says open gate 7 or gate 9. And then, as soon as she says that, you kind of think, is this the T-Rex? And then it rises up and the T-Rex comes out to face the Odominus Rex. That scene is so cool, so badass. Love everything about that. It makes the movie for me. But yeah, I'm keen to watch the next one, Fallen Kingdom. Heard mixed things on it, but I'm sure I'll still enjoy it. Next one here we have... Pardon me. Still sick, guys. 47 Meters Down. This was really good shark movie, surprisingly. I sort of didn't expect much from it. I don't know, just sort of didn't... I got it when it was cheap at a closing down sale of a video store. But the plot's basically 2 girls go to Mexico for a holiday. They meet some guys that know a bloke with a boat, and he can take them deep sea, shark diving in those cages. And of course, when they go do it, the winch breaks and they sink to the bottom of the ocean, trapped in the cage, surrounded by massive sharks. And yeah, guys, there will be spoilers throughout some of these. I forgot to say at the start, but yeah, there'll always be spoilers through these movies. Little outtakes or whatever. But yeah, the air is a factor when they start running out of air. The guys up top, they radio to them and they do send down 2 extra tanks. But one guy says you know, I forget what it is, the type of gas that's also mixed with that the oxygen. If you have too much of it, it can make you hallucinate, and that comes into play like later in the film. But yeah, and I think when that happens, because they get the two tanks obviously, and then they escape, get to the boat, and then they get pulled up on the boat after both being somewhat attacked. And like she's looking at her hand, the cut on it, and the blood sort of starts floating away. And right then I realized that she's hallucinating. And then it goes back to like, then it lasts on that for a little bit, and then it goes back when like it shows her in real time hallucinating, and she's still at the bottom of the ocean in the cage, just looking at her hand, laughing. And her friends already tried to escape but got eaten. I thought if they ended it right there, it would have been a real like, I know, real not hard hitting, but like real sort of emotional ending. Like she's just gonna run out of air and die, but she's hallucinating, so she doesn't really know the fear of what's about to happen to her. But yeah, I think that would have made a more impactful ending than just her getting saved and, you know, everything's all right. I sort of like those movies where it ends and it's sort of not a happy ending, I guess. But overall, really good shark movie, surprisingly. Next one is a Leprechaun film. Leprechaun 5 in the Hood. Leprechaun in the Hood. Been slowly making my way through these movies. And surprisingly, they're really good. There's only been like one that I haven't really enjoyed, but I was very tired when I was watching it. Yeah, Leprechaun in the Hood, man. Holy shit. This is such a fun movie. It's a story of like 3 wannabe rappers trying to make it big with their music. And their local, I guess, rap music producer guy, the guy that sort of runs the scene, gives them an audition, and they fuck it up. And he just basically says he doesn't have time for them. They go back to his crib, or whatever you want to call it, and try and rob it, because they noticed when they were in there's a lot of like jewelry, and he even had like the leprechaun in a display case, with the pendant on him that keeps him in like a petrified stone state. Yeah, Ice-T as Mac Daddy is so much fun too. The start where him and his mate like blow the side of that subway and find all the leprechaun and his gold and stuff. And then when the leprechaun's like taunting him, he's like pulling baseball bats out of his afro and like guns and shit. It's so much like, oh, I was in stitches watching that. It was so funny. But yeah, like, I know if anyone's seen these Leprechaun films, you sort of know what to expect. But yeah, this was so much fun, and I can't wait to watch the next one, which is Back to the Hood, I think. And last one here, we have a pretty classic movie, Maniac. Pardon me, guys. Yeah, this movie is so good. The way the director captures the grittiness and atmosphere of New York, you know, just the setting, it feels so dirty. You can tell how much like the main character, the serial killer Frank Zito, like how traumatized he is from life events that you find out throughout the movie. Like when he kills someone, he sort of like moans and rocks back and forth and makes little noises. Yeah, the scalping and stuff in this is really pretty. Like that first, not the first kill, but the one where he takes the girl up into the hotel, the prostitute, and like strangles her to death, and you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty, you know, it was a pretty intense scene, really. And then pulls out the blade and starts scalping her. You going, shit, that's pretty intense. And also the makeup work from Tom Savini, have to mention that. And that head exploding scene when he gets his head blown off with a double barrel shotgun by Frank, which was awesome. Also the way the movie's shot, not entirely, but partly in like first person, looks really cool from the killer's perspective. It's one of those rare movies where you follow the killer. You don't really follow like your final girl or the group of friends. They're sort of just in the background because he likes to mix in with them, I guess, and know a bit more about them because he's obsessed. One scene that was really funny in this too is when he's chasing that woman like down the subway steps, and she just gets on the train before it leaves. And like when they're in that subway, there's like nobody there. But when it shows you like her looking out the back of the train to see where Frank is, there's like 10, probably about 8 or 10 people like on the platform. So it's hella funny. It goes from nobody to like 10 people there. But it's probably just what they had to work with. I would like to see the transfer that Blue Underground did of this. I think it'd be awesome. Don't know when I'd ever be able to sort of get that. To get it here in Australia, it'd probably cost about $50 to $60 shipped, which is pretty expensive. Pardon me, guys. Anyway, that's what I've been watching this week. Let me know what you think of the films that I talked about. And also let me know what you've been watching the last couple of days. Be cool to have a discussion. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in next week's episode.